Hi friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com. It's great to be back. Some of you may have noticed that I haven't been around for a couple of weeks. I did do a video yesterday, which was my first video actually in a couple of weeks. It turns out I had pneumonia, which explains why I wasn't feeling good. So if I cough in this video, that's why. I'm on the mend though, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. While I was sick, I was thinking of all kinds of nice videos to do, and this is one of them. Now, this video, I'll be using the Mitelli deck that I was gifted a few weeks back by Shel David, and I will include the link to the video I did showing each of his individual cards. I don't know how it happened. I know for a long time on social media, I was just like wishing and commenting anywhere I could that I love the Mitelli deck, but because it's a Tarotchino, which is an abbreviated deck, I couldn't use it for cartomancy, and I couldn't use it for interpretation. And I don't know how, but it was brought to my attention that Shel David, or I think I found him, online saying that I'm creating a 78 card Mitelli, and so I was like, right? It was like, it made me very happy, and we connected, and he just wonderfully gifted me with this deck. Now, as far as I know, it's not commercially available at this stage, but his deck did include a scan card, which suggests to me that if you use this and you keep your eye on his website, he may change his mind, and there may be decks available in the future, and he's definitely a worthy card maker, because this deck is fabulous. I love this deck. So I'll be using this deck, the 78 card Mitelli deck created by Shel David, to do a personal reading for myself. And I thought it would be fun to use a card method for interpretation based on a document that was found by Franco Pratesi. I'm not sure what year he found it in, but he's a tarot historian. He discovered a sheet of paper dated 1750, which may, really reflect traditions from a lot earlier than 1750 of interpreting the cards and a card spread. The spread is based on the configuration of the hand, and so each finger in the spread had a positional meaning. And because 35 cards were included in the definitions for 35 cards were included, we have a sense of how they interpreted the cards. So I thought that would be interesting and fun to do. So I'm going to flip the camera and get started. Now, it has occurred to me that since the Mitelli, when the deck was created, would not have had cards numbered 2 through 5, that they would not have been included in a card reading. And I don't know if they ever would have used just the Triumph cards alone to do a reading, or how much I'm switching things up. But it occurred to me that maybe to do this 5-card reading, that I would just use the Triumph cards. And we know that when we use the Triumph cards, we get very clear and distinct messages. There's no vagueness. Most of the time I always like to use the full 78 card deck, but I want to stick to the meanings of the cards as they present themselves and as they were written down. And I believe we have all the meanings of the Triumph cards. It's just some of the others we don't have. So excuse me. So I hope that makes sense to you. The reading that I have is a personal one. My husband and I have been planning a family vacation that will include ourselves, the kids, and the grandkids. So we have 4 different families who will be going on this vacation. And we think it's like a once-in-a-lifetime wonderful trip to do. And we're very excited about it. And of course, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that could go wrong and go right. And we just want to know what we need to look out for. And hopefully the cards can give us some insight into that. So, having said that, I shuffled and meditated and did that routine off camera, but I always like to do a few shuffles before the camera to show you in good faith that I don't have like preset cards for the reading or anything like that. Okay, so as I mentioned, the spread is in the shape of a hand configuration and with positional meanings, meaning that we reconcile the individual meaning of a card to the position where it falls. Each of these positions has their own meaning. And although in modern times when I do readings, I flip the cards over and I read them, I expose them, spontaneously as I lay them. But that's because I don't read with a predetermined, positional thing. I read the cards as they unfold and how they relate to each other and, all that. But because this is a spread where each position has a meaning that we reconcile with the card itself, I kind of want to isolate each card and read it with that intent before I blend them together. Okay, so the first card, is in the thumb position, and it represents the situation raised by the question. So, is there a gist, to the question? Is there a primary issue that we need to look at? The second card, the index finger, is the person or the circumstance or the thing that works best in our favor, what we have going for us in this trip. The third is what is against us. Now, already just with 3 cards, I'm reminded by the French tirage en croix, which I believe was created by Oswald Wirth. I'm not positive, my memory, I didn't look it up before I did this video. But, it makes sense that, it's so uncannily similar to this Italian tradition of, the nature of the question and what works for you and what works against you, and being a 5-card spread. And it stands to reason that they very well, the French, Oswald Wirth was Swiss, but very much in keeping with the French tradition of card reading. And, it stands to reason that they may have very well been, the occultists may very well have been familiar with the Italian tradition of card reading, right? I mean, Atteya himself, Atteya being the first known cartomancer who made his living interpreting the cards, admitted that he learned his craft from an Italian. So I think that's interesting that so far it's very similar. The fourth card, the position is development of issue, how it unfolds, how it will play out, how the trip will play out. And then the last card is the success or failure, in this case of the trip. So of the 22 possible triumph cards, or the 21 plus the Fool card, I've laid 5. So in the first position, we have the Chariot, and it does describe the nature of the trip. We'll be driving in our cars. It's obviously it's a travel thing. Lots of hope, lots of excitement. Now, being that it's a trip that we'd be going by car, the first thing that I think of being a mom is make sure everybody's car and vehicle is travel worthy. Make sure everyone checks and double checks that aspect of their car. To make sure that it's all travel worthy. What is working in our favor? The world. What a fortuitous card. Now, in the Bolognese tradition, the world card is the penultimate card. It's not the final card. And they did have a meaning for the world card. And in fact, let's see what the meaning in the piece of paper, the document from 1750, says about the Chariot. It says for the Chariot, success, brief journey, house, bed, or hospital, or any other. But traditionally we understand that the Chariot is a card of success. The world card. Let's see if there is a meaning for the world card. Long travel. Person in motion, movement, which is true. So far we have 2 cards which really hit the nail on the head. It's a vacation by chariot or by card, and it's in motion, right? Long travel. And there are a lot of activities and there are a lot of things to do on this vacation. So far, this all, makes sense. The con, what is not going to be in our favor? The death card. Well, that's not a good sign. So something will be thwarted for sure. Let's see what the death card is in this sheet of paper. Radical transformation, the end of a cycle. A possibility of the consultant or the questioner losing contact with someone or ceasing contact with someone. So that's not a good sign. Oh, I don't like that at all. Okay, how the development of the issue, how everything unfolds. And we have one of the cards from 2 to 5, which is non-generic leader. It's neither the emperor, it's neither the emperor nor the pope or anybody like that. It's just like a person of influence, of authority. So it's possible that some kind of decision will have to be made. Let's see what the position, let's see if there was a meaning for that card. And I don't know which one of these it represents. I think it represents the one that's described as the emperor. So, and the description says a person that imposes his will with the benefit of the law. So somebody may have to step forward and take on the role of making decisions after that happens. And the success or failure of the vacation. Well, the Wheel of Fortune and money. So it's either that we're going to lose money or that we're just going to have a really great time and just blow caution to the wind and just have fun. The Wheel of Fortune, of course, can mean a few different things. Let's see what it says according to this list. Just movement, cyclical change, opportunity. Yeah. So with the exception of what is not going to be to our advantage is the end of something. So it's possible that maybe somebody will have to drop out, at the last minute. Maybe something will, not come to pass. Maybe one of us won't be able to do it. Or there will be some glitch which will occur, which I'm not feeling good about. But when we look at the final cards about how it will play out, it looks like somebody takes authority, someone takes control, maybe gets it back in the right direction. And then the Wheel of Fortune, once again, speaks of fun. It looks like a fun card, opportunity. I'm trying to interpret the cards based on the meanings that that piece of paper, from Bologna, Italy had, referencing it. So there we have it. I think, it's there's a few things to concern ourselves with. There's a lot of moving parts. Someone's going to have to be sober. not that we're not sober people, but somebody probably at some point will need to step up and make some decisions, because maybe there will be a glitch that will require someone to step up and have a clear head and a clear view of what to do next. But overall, it looks like fun, and this, I can't help but feel good about this card. It just looks like throw caution to the wind and just have fun. So I think we're okay. I think it's going to be fun. And I think, we know where we need to put our focus. So I hope this was fun and interesting for you too. Until next time, friends, peace and stay well.